Many people are under the impression that the Stormii Catfish gets way too big and is way too aggressive to be in a community aquarium, and on some level they are kind of correct. Stormii Catfish get absolutely massive and they will eat anything that will fit in their mouth, so the majority of fish out there that you would keep in a community aquarium would not be a good fit for an adult Stormii Catfish. However, many people seem to ignore the fact that all of these fish that get really big actually start off really small as a baby. So you can actually keep a lot of these monster fish in a community setting for quite a few years. And that's what I've done with the Stormii Catfish. You see, under normal circumstances, you probably can't keep a Stormii Catfish with things like loaches and maybe even the small rainbow fish or the small archer fish. They probably all would have ended up as snacks if that was an adult Stormii Catfish. However, because I bought a baby, I was able to put him into my Fluval Roma 240 and he has been doing amazing in that community aquarium. Also, that community aquarium is a planted aquarium and the Stormii Catfish looks amazing amongst the plants. And yeah, it's been about 4 months now and I thought it's the perfect time to give you an update on my Stormii Catfish in my planted Fluval Roma 240. And yeah, let's just get started. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the growth and appearance. And I bought the Stormii Catfish back in December. I believe it was around the start of December, and currently we are near the end of April, so it's been a good 4 or 5 months now, and honestly I don't think the Stormii Catfish has grown that much. I mean, like, he might have gotten maybe a centimeter to his body or something like that, but honestly, the growth has not been significant. He is still a fairly decent size, and by the looks of it, with the rate that he's growing, I will probably be able to keep him in that Fluval Roma 240 for at least a year before I need to give him away. If I'm lucky, maybe even 2 years. By the way, I named him Jinbei. For anyone who doesn't know, Jinbei is a shark character from the anime One Piece, and it's such a perfect fitting name because the Stormii Catfish literally looks like a shark. They have that similar swimming movement to sharks, and my one literally swims around all day. I mean, I will talk about that a bit more when we talk about the behavior, but yeah, in regards to appearance, the appearance is so cool. It's like having a mini shark in your aquarium. And like I said, by the looks of it, in the last 4 months, he has not grown that much. So yeah, even though they do get absolutely huge, it looks like I'll be able to enjoy my, I was about to say shark, but it's a catfish. It looks like I get to enjoy the catfish for quite a while. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is their personality and behavior. And yo, that's where, I've got so much to say. I kind of touched on it already, but they literally behave like a shark. Sometimes I'm literally sitting there in front of my aquarium for at least half an hour just looking at my catfish swimming back and forth. It's the way it swims. There's just something about it. It's so mesmerizing to see. And the thing is, Jinbei is brave, man. Like, sometimes when I'm feeding my moray eel, she obviously only eats the prawns and that. And when I'm feeding her, he sometimes just comes in, grabs the food and runs off. Like, he does not care. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the catfish is kind of the boss or the alpha of the aquarium. There's no one really that challenges him, but at the same time he is so humble. Like, he might steal some food here and there, but I've never seen him attack any of the fish or anything like that. So yeah, they can have some really cool personalities, and it looks like my one is so humble. I guess one thing I should mention is every now and then they do rest at the bottom. It does seem to be a normal behavior. They do swim about all day, so I guess every now and then they do need a little rest. And yeah, I just wanted to mention it because at first it did kind of have me a little worried because I thought, hey, is he alright? But it literally looks like he just has a rest every now and then. And then soon as he's had his rest, he carries on swimming about. Before we carry on, if you are enjoying this video, then let me know by leaving a like. And if you want to see more videos like this every single week, then please remember to subscribe. It really helps me out. Now, for the next part, I want to talk about their diet and feeding. And yo, Jinbei, my catfish, absolutely eats everything. So when it comes to the protein, I feed my moray eel shrimps. Majority of those go to her, of course, because she only eats shrimps. But then there's a good amount that I just dump into the aquarium as well for my ghost knife and my catfish. And yeah, the catfish absolutely loves the pieces of shrimp. Now, they also love bloodworms, of course, but the thing that surprised me was the fact that they also eat the dry food. So in my aquarium, I put in Prima granules, which are these, there you go, and the Tetra Pro multicolor crisp. And yeah, my catfish absolutely loves them. Like, literally anything I put into the aquarium, the Stormii Catfish will eat it. and they are amazing eaters. I do have to say, for the first day or two he didn't eat. I guess he was a little bit stressed or whatever, but on day 3 he started eating, and yeah, like I said, the easiest fish to feed. And yeah, when you have a fish that just eats everything, it's just so much nicer. I mean, with my moray eel, for example, she only eats the shrimp, so I have to specifically always prepare shrimps for her. But my Stormii Catfish, whatever I choose to put into the aquarium that day, he's gonna eat it, and it just makes looking after them so much easier. Oh, I guess one last thing I should mention is you can technically hand feed them as well. I mean, any fish that you can feed with tongs, you can convert that to hand feeding, and the Stormii Catfish literally eats the shrimps from the tongs all of the time. I haven't tried it out myself yet, but that's because I've been too lazy to actually hand feed my fish lately. But I definitely want to try it out and see if I can hand feed them, because yeah, hand feeding is really cool. It feels like you're building a bond with your fish, and like I said, the Stormii Catfish seems to be a very brave fish. They seem to have a very boisterous personality and definitely seem to be brave enough to eat from your hand. So yeah, just wanted to mention that, but I'll try it out myself, and if it is successful, I'll make a whole separate video on it. Now the next part I want to talk about is, has there been any extra maintenance with this fish? Because that does seem to be a very common question whenever people ask about fish. Is there any extra maintenance that you have to do compared to the other fish you would usually keep? And I can tell you right now, there really isn't any extra maintenance that you have to do. I would suggest having a good strong flow, because they do like to swim about, so I guess make sure that you have a good strong filter. But yeah, in regards of extra maintenance, like having any special feeding requirements or anything like that, there's nothing of that. Like I said, they pretty much eat everything you put into the aquarium. And the only thing you really want to make sure of is that there's enough swimming space, because like I said, all day this fish just swims about the aquarium backwards and forwards. It's literally gotten to a point where all of the footage I take looks the same, because the fish literally takes the same path all day. And now of course he switches it up every now and then. He sometimes goes through the branches and the leaves and all of that, and that looks really cool. But by the time I get to the aquarium to film it, he goes back to his usual backwards and forwards. So yeah, just make sure you have enough swimming space for that fish to actually swim about. And yeah, that's it. I guess there's no real extra maintenance that you have to do whilst keeping this fish. Now I've already mentioned this, but I thought let me mention it again. Guys, I am fully aware that this catfish is going to get very big, and I'm not going to be able to keep it in my Roma 240, and I do have a backup plan. I'm planning to either take it back to the fish store, or I'm going to try sell it on if I can find a buyer, but we'll get to that when we get to that. For now, I am enjoying having the Stormii Catfish in my aquarium. It's literally like having a shark in there, and honestly, it's one of the best purchases I've ever made. Definitely recommend them. Now, I will make a care guide very soon, so keep an eye out for that. If you don't want to miss it, make sure you like and subscribe. I upload videos every single week. And if you want to see the day I bought my Stormii Catfish, then click right here.